Yeah. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your Monday dose, your Monday morning or your Monday afternoon dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Supremely grateful to be here for another day. Grateful to be able to talk sports with you all. You guys have been showing the channel, showing me a tremendous amount of support. I never take it for granted. I always want that to be known every time I have a live show because I know nothing in this life is guaranteed. Nothing uh as far as opportunity is guaranteed, right? You know, you guys have a ton of options and you still choose to kick it with me on any given day, right? And I can't ask for anything more from you guys. The goal here is just to keep my foot on the gas pedal here and now and going into the regular season. I want to try to give you guys at least 5 to 6 days out of the week of daily content. That's my goal here. And you guys have been following suit with that. And I'm just grateful that you guys have been patient with me. You guys have supported the content. You've hit the like button. You've subscribed to the channel. You've commented below. You've defended my honor in various aspects. Some of you guys may have challenged my opinions, which I'm always open to, which I always love, as long as you guys always keep it respectful, right? I'm never against deliberation. I'm never against disagreement or even debate or conversation, just as long as we keep it within the lines of the game, right? So I appreciate you guys for always showing love, for always showing out, and we're going to continue to grow this thing brick by brick. All right. Shout out to my man Will Bentacore, Bird Gang 31, Antonio Holmes, Fanny, Eagles fan. What's going on, girl? Hope all is well. Appreciate you guys. Some of you guys may be at work on this Monday morning or afternoon. Some of you guys may be on your lunch break. Maybe I'm catching you at the perfect time, right? This is a very, very interesting time, not just for the Philadelphia Eagles, but this is an interesting time for the NFL, right? And, you know, we're always optimistic about our respective teams that we love, right? Especially around this time of year. We always say to ourselves, this could be the year, right? If this happens, if that happens, this could be the year. If we draft this player, if we elevate this guy, if we give this guy the starting job, if this guy gets cut, you know, maybe we'll be in a better position. You know, we always talk about the what ifs and we all form our own opinions. We all form our own assertions and predictions about what should happen, what's going to happen, what shouldn't happen. And, you know, I really want to get into that. I want to get into the the turbulence and just how terrifying this time of year is, right? Because for fans, for commentators, for analysts, for pundits, it's a fun time for us, right? It's exciting to see who made the roster, who didn't. It's fun for us. But for those guys who are actually playing the game, those guys who are actually laying it all out on the line, those guys who are quite literally fighting for their jobs, their football lives, it's not really a fun time for them. Unless you're at the top of the totem pole or at the top of the mountain, like a guy like AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or Jalen Hurts or a Darius Slay, or maybe you were drafted in the first round like a Quinyon Mitchell or drafted in a high round like Jalix Hunt or Cooper DeJean. You know, maybe your grandfather, then you're a vested veteran like BG, right? Those people, those guys aren't worried about their jobs. CJ is not worried about his job, right? But when you get into the nitty-gritty aspects of the roster, when you start talking about guys like the Eli Ricks of the world, right? The EJ Jenkins, the Avante Maddox, the Tristan McCullums, the James Bradberries, the Thomas Bookers of this team, the Oren Burks, the Ben Van Sumerins, the Darian Kennards, the John Ross, the Paris Campbells. When you get into guys like that, those guys are quite literally fighting for their football future. So, although they love the game, this isn't an easy time for them. This isn't a time where they're just walking around carefree. To an extent, they're on pins and needles. And like my man Chris Bruce said in his $1.99 super chat, thank you, my friend, for donating to the channel. He says some guys may never play the game again after cuts. Think about that. Really, really think about what that looks like. There are some players, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, guys that are my age, who if they can't make the cut here, they may not make the cut anywhere. This is a nerve-wracking time. And by tomorrow, I think 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken, by tomorrow, there's going to be there's going to be nearly 1,000 guys. There's going to be over 1,000 guys that end up unemployed due to the annual roster cuts. It comes with the territory, right? There's only 1,696 jobs, and I'm not even counting practice squad yet. But as far as the active roster, the 53-man roster, there are 32 teams in the NFL. Do the math. There's only 1,700 jobs in this league on an active roster between 32 teams. That's not many. And then when you take it a step further to the practice squad, there's only 17 practice squad players per team. That is 544 jobs. And don't get me wrong, practice squad guys make good money in comparison to the average Joe. They make great money in comparison to a guy like me, to maybe a man or a woman like you. They make great money just to stay ready so they ain't got to get ready. They make good money just to be practice bodies. You feel what I'm saying? Some guys, they look at it as a win if they make it to the practice squad. A win. Because they can pay their bills, they can support their wives, or they can support their children. They can help pay for someone's medical bills if possible. You feel what I'm saying? This is why I take the preseason so seriously. And before I get into why, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Goes a long way, means a lot to me. This, as a matter of fact, this goes beyond just the NFL. College, and thank you again, Chris Bruce, for your $1.99 super chat, my friend. Thank you so much. This goes beyond just the NFL, college, high school. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't make the roster. Somebody's dreams will be crushed. Somebody's heart will be broken. Somebody's bills will not get paid. Someone will have to get a regular job. Can you imagine being 6'4", 6'5", 240, 250 pounds in an NFL body, and you work at Walmart? You work at Costco. You do telemarketing. Imagine that. Imagine looking at yourself in the mirror and you say, damn, I have the profile. I believe in my heart of hearts I can play this game. But damn it, everybody can't go. Some of your favorite players, some of the players that y'all got high hopes for, may end up working at T-Mobile. We have to respect this game. We got to respect the amount of blood, sweat, and tears gets put into this thing. Like I said, and look, right? Every different show that I give you guys has a different complexion, right? Has a different energy. And I'm on this type of time today because I really sit with myself sometimes. And I'm so grateful for life. I'm grateful for opportunity. I'm grateful that I still have an opportunity to create my own path with my own platform, right? But there's only one NFL. There's only one NFL. My man Fresh and Clean with the $1.99 super chat. He says, I wish Howard drafted Brian Branch over Nolan. Listen, we're going to get into the Nolan thing later on. I want to talk about that too. Thank you again, Fresh. I really do appreciate you for showing love. We still don't know what Nolan's going to be. I don't want to completely kill Nolan. We still have no idea what his ceiling is. I'm not going to kill Nolan. I'm not. I have no idea what Nolan Smith's upside can be. But so far, I haven't really been impressed. But I'm not going to kill him. It is what it is. Fresh, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat, my friend. So Like I said, there's only 1,700 jobs in this league on the active roster. There's only 544 jobs on the practice squad throughout this entire NFL. The preseason is very serious because it gives guys an opportunity to continue to make money, but it also gives them an opportunity to prove that they deserve to be on the NFL roster. You know, there's many people out there who talk sports that want to act like, or they want to pretend that the preseason has little to no significance. As a matter of fact, there's some people out there who believe the preseason game shouldn't be played at all. Whatever their reasoning for that is, it is. But there are some who believe those games shouldn't be played because they're boring. They're ugly to watch. They're insignificant. They mean nothing. And then you have some people on one side that says, you know, I worry about guys' health. Okay, I won't argue against that. But these preseason games, the reality is those games give players opportunities to showcase their skill set in a live setting. There are some situations where some guys in practice, they're a little slower. Maybe it's not clicking as fast. But when they get into a live game, you see the instincts. You see how they play the game. You see how fast they move. You see the natural talent shine through. How many of you guys aren't good test takers? How many of you guys were never good test takers in high school or middle school or elementary or college or whatever job, right? How many of you guys weren't good studiers, but damn it, when they asked you to do the job, you were hands-on. You were hands-on. You were extremely productive. How many of us have a clear distinction between how we perform in terms of test versus how we perform in real time when the bullets is flying? You get what I'm saying here? The preseason game gives guys an opportunity to showcase their ability in live game reps versus practice reps where things are orchestrated. There are some guys that are game players rather than practice players. There are some players who look better in real games than they do in practice. And there are some players who are fool's gold that can only do it in practice, but can't do it in the real game. So you ask yourself, what do you value more? The only way we can find that out is by having preseason games, by giving them the proper credence, the proper reverence, the proper appreciation. So, again, let's say you have a practice that's a little shaky. You had a bad day. You can still prove your worth in a real game. And then a coach may say, damn, okay, that guy, he actually can play. He actually can play. I can see it now. I can see it. So, you know, I say that to say the Eagles have a ton of tough decisions to make. And before I get into that, I want to read some of your comments. Thank you guys for being locked in for as long as you guys have. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you're new here, I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and I'm grateful for you. Fanny, the Eagles fan, says, I've always said how they play in preseason is how they play for real because they're trying to showcase their talents. Some players I was not impressed with. Completely understand that. There's some players that I just wasn't impressed with at all. I feel you on that. Cody, what's going on, my friend? E Money Bentley says, go Birds. Eagles and Heat fan says, hands-on learning. Exactly. There are some people who are just better with their hands rather than in the classroom. You feel what I'm saying? Jason A-Team says, I was the opposite. I couldn't do homework, but I could ace tests. See, you see what I'm saying, right? I'm glad you said that, Jason. Like there are certain, like it can be about the same material. You can be studying and learning the same material. But damn, homework not it for you. But when it comes to the test, light work. Maybe homework is easy for you. But when it comes to the test, you get a little nervous. You get anxiety. That's why the preseason games are so important to me. Relative Time Work says preseason needs to go away. Most NFL insiders I've heard say controlled practices with other teams serve a better purpose. I disagree wholeheartedly. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. I disagree wholeheartedly. That's an agenda, if you ask me. I'm sorry. That's an agenda. That's an agenda so the NFL can add more games to the regular season. And I love this league. I love this game. But that's an agenda. And I'm not going at you, Time Works. I'm not. This isn't about you. Trust me, this isn't about you. But that's an agenda, in my opinion. Preseason needs to go away. Most NFL insiders you've heard say controlled practices with other teams serve better purpose. In that case, how come there were only one joint practice for these teams then? How come there were less joint practices this year than there were last year? You get what I'm trying to say here? And again, Time Works, not about you. Trust me. I appreciate you adding this nugget. But that's an agenda to me. That's an agenda. These teams want to add more regular season football games. They make more money in the regular season than they do the preseason games. Timeworks says preseason makes money. A preseason game doesn't make the same amount of money as a regular season game. Come on, Timeworks. Don't do that. Come on, Timeworks. A preseason game doesn't make the same amount of money as a regular season game. It doesn't. We've heard notions about the NFL going from a 17-game season to an 18-game season. For the longest, remember, we were hearing the league going from a 16-game season to a 17-game season. And they did just that. They're already talking about an 18-game season. We're hearing word about 19-game seasons. So, yeah, for sure, Timeworks, you're my guy. You already know how we get down, Timeworks. You know how we get down. So, I'm just not buying that. I'm just not rolling with that. I'm just not. The real RMP says Sirianni didn't play any offensive starters at all. That's a good conversation to have. I'm going to hold on to that. RMP. I want to have that conversation with you guys today. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up. Because me personally, I like seeing my starters out there for at least a series or two. On all, like, that's just my opinion. I need to see starters out there for at least a series or two. RMP also says maybe Nolan needs to fill out a UPS application. Y'all crazy, man. That's y'all wild. Deny Prince. He says, I believe to a certain extent we have to take preseason somewhat serious because it enables talent just because of name or what players done formally. Yeah, like the preseason just gives guys an opportunity to showcase their talent, man. Especially if you're on the fringe, right? Especially when you're on the fringe. The NFL is comprised of more undrafted 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th round players than there are first round players or second round players or even third round players. The league is the foundation of the NFL is day 3 of the NFL draft. That's rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's the foundation, the bedrock of the NFL. And those players only become the bedrock by being able to show what they can do so they can fortify a roster's depth chart. You only find out about those guys in preseason. That's the only way. Some people say controlled practices are the way to go. I say to myself, Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor convinced us every season that in these controlled practices, he took steps forward. But when the bullets start flying, Jalen Reagor was nowhere to be found. That's a prime example of why real game reps mean more than preseason. You got guys who are literally fool's gold in these practices. When the bullets start flying, nowhere to be found. Jalen Reagor is one of the reasons why I cannot dismiss a preseason game. Fanny says NFL is a lot of namesakes, meaning your expectancy is higher because of your name. Sometimes that's fool's gold. Exactly. Names are fool's gold. Draft status can be fool's gold. Shoot, the money you make can be fool's gold. And like Brandon Lewis said, if you take this to 18 games, you better add another bye week. You better. There's no way you push it to 18 games and you don't add another bye week. That's especially if you got an early bye week. Imagine if there was an 18-game season, right? The Eagles, imagine the 2024 season was the first pilot test to the 18-game season. And then the Philadelphia Eagles still had that week 5 bye week. You mean to tell me the Philadelphia Eagles will not have a week off from week 6 to week 19? You mean to tell me they're going to play 18 straight games week to week without an additional bye week? If you extend the league to 18 or 19 games, teams that get stuck with an early bye week will be screwed. You got to add another bye week, and you got to expand the roster by at least 3 or 4 or 5 players. You have to. You have to. Drew Anderson says that's why you can't call these guys trash who have made it to this level. Exactly. You can't talk like that. It's so. Look, man. I dissect this game a little differently to some people, right? You know, my goal in this code content game is to always be me and deliver the message the way I see fit. There's going to be days where I'm more passionate than others, where I'm a little bit more aggressive than others. But it's only because there's a war going on outside. There's a war going on. All these teams are fighting for glory. These guys are our modern day gladiators. Let me put it to you this way. Thank God thank God civilization has improved in terms of humanity. Thank God humanity has elevated itself to a point where we can actually go outside and be safe to an extent. There was a time, and like I always say, I believe athletes, football players are our modern day gladiators. That's just me. But imagine living in a time where your athletes, if they can't make the cut, they're executed. And I know we're getting a little heavy here, but I want you to think about the gladiator times, Athens, Olympia. I want you to think about the medieval times. Just think, because those times just follow me there. Because I consider these guys to be our modern day gladiators. There was an era, a time, there was a millennia where if you couldn't cut it in the arena, you were executed or you were exiled or the guillotine, whatever it is. You couldn't eat. You were tossed to the side with the pigs. That's evolved to people not being able to have jobs, not being able to feed their families, guys being called trash. I was watching this video. Man, let me see if I can let me see if I can find it. There was this video circulating. On Twitter when the Falcons were on Hard Knocks. I want to show you guys something to throwback. I want to show you guys a throwback. I'm going to show you how serious this shit get. Excuse my language, y'all. Because there are guys who aren't going to make it And we're going to get deep into this because the Eagles are going to cut this roster down. The Eagles are going to cut this roster down. I want to show you guys something. This how serious this can get. Just follow me here if you can. Look at this. What I'm about to show you is a classic Hard Knocks episode from the Falcons. This is a throwback Falcons Hard Knocks episode or a clip, right? Where special teams coach Keith Armstrong goes off on his players. Just listen to this. Maybe you guys seen it, maybe you didn't, but just listen.
The game don't mean enough to you, and that's very apparent. You better wake up and get some pride in your game. Come in here and go out there and play like Now the is coached the right way.
You're tuned in to Truck It Sports.
Excuses. Selfish. The hell is this? Look at this crap. That ain't cute. You got it? Really don't care. About as selfish an act as you could be. Grow the up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it, Hageman? Number 4 in the C gap. Who do you want? You got 3 to 2. Do you start on defense? No. So what are you going to do? Sit your ass around on the sideline and watch the game? We got enough people around here doing that.
Look how you're talking
Malachi,
to this man.
I've been telling you for 2 years. Right there, the same crap. Do you start? You a superstar? How many Pro Bowls you been to? You got a gold jacket? So who are you? I'm going to tell you, Coach Smith asked me, what do you think? All right, about Malachi Goodman. He don't want it, Coach. That's what's getting said. He don't want it. Told you, right to your face.
This man was about to shed tears. This brother, these men got broken down to their core, to their essence. They were dismantled because of what was on that film. They were proverbially crucified because of the lack of effort that was being displayed, the lack of attention to detail. That's how sticky this gets. That's how much pressure is on these brothers on a daily basis. He's talking to special teams guys. Special teams guys. Like he said, do you play defense? Are you a starter? Are you a superstar? Are you a Pro Bowler? Do you got a gold jacket? Every detail, every piece of effort matters. These guys are fighting for their football lives. They're trying to just make a special teams, let alone a practice squad. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of broken hearts, crushed dreams, fractured spirits come this time tomorrow. And we're going to start to see a trickle down. Right? The average NFL career is what? 3.5 seasons, if that. Like the real RMP said, the NFL stands for not for long. John Monroe, team film sessions expose you real quick. Don't you think the Eagles are having a field day with that Minnesota Vikings practice footage? That Minnesota Vikings preseason game, that practice footage from the Philadelphia Eagles, there are going to be a lot of players without a job come Wednesday or come Tuesday. There are going to be a lot of players who maybe could have made this roster but played themselves out of a job because of what happened on Saturday afternoon. Those film sessions from that game, I wouldn't want to be in those rooms. I wouldn't want to be on the receiver end of that. All I'm trying to say is this game we love so much. This game that we dissect so much. This game that we have so many strong opinions about, right? Of course, there's tribalism. We love our teams. We love our respective cities. But I just want to recalibrate our perspective. I don't know how many people are doing this in this space, but I want to recalibrate our perspective, Philadelphia, NFL fans. As much as we want to win, as much as we want the best players on the field, and trust me, I am a huge proponent of that. If you can't cut it, if you ain't shitting, get off the pot. Excuse my language, y'all. As much as we want the best players on this roster, there's going to be some guys who are good enough, but they can't go. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's a numbers game. Sean Pete Robertson says Bradberry should be cut. You see how easy it is for us to just say something like that? And Sean, I may or may not agree with you. I'll put it to you that way. I may or may not agree with you. And again, Sean, this isn't about you. This is just an example that you've given me. I appreciate you, Sean, for being a supporter of the show. Thank you so much, my friend. But you see how easy it is for Sean to say that? You see how easy it is for me to just sit here in front of this microphone and talk? It's easy for me to say this. It's easy for Sean to say what he's saying. It's easy for everyone to say what they're saying. Right? It's easy. And again, Sean, I promise you, this is not about you. This is just an example you've given me. We all have our roles in this thing, and they have their roles in this thing. Man, oh man. It's not easy being James Bradberry right now. Some people may say, well, Tone, he make millions of dollars. He good. And I would say you're right. His money is secured. His contract this year is secured. You're absolutely right. You're right. I can't refute that part of it. I can't refute that. But, you know, there are guys who don't make the money James Bradberry makes, and we say they should be cut. Just Saturday, and time works. I'm going to get to your super chat, my friend. I promise you. Just Saturday, I was watching that game. And you know what I said to myself? And you know what I tweeted? Impulsively, of course. You know what I tweeted in impulse? I said Zach McPherson better not make this roster. I said that. I tweeted that. I tweeted Zach McPherson better not make this roster. Where is it? Let me see. I literally said Zach McPherson better not make this roster. Here it is. I tweeted this. I tweeted that. You see how easy it is for me to say that? You see how easy it is for me to just say that and go away? Zach McPherson actually has to deal with that in real life. I said that. Be it impulsively or not. I said that. It's easy for me to say that. But Zach McPherson is the one that has to deal with that. He has to prove why he should make this roster. He's the one fighting for his job. So, you know, I just want us to be mindful here. I just want us to be mindful how easy it is for us to say what we say when these guys actually got to lace it up, strap it up, put the helmets on, go out there and hit. It's easy for me to say what I said here. But I always try to check my ego. Crawley says, it's put up or shut up in the NFL, though, Tone. Absolutely. That's my point. That's my point. My point is, in this game, in this league, everybody can't go. This is an unforgiving league. That's why I showed you guys that clip. I don't know if you saw it earlier. I don't know if you saw it, Crawley. But that's why I showed you guys that classic clip of the Atlanta Falcons Hard Knocks episode. This game is unforgiving. Excuse me. This game doesn't owe you a damn thing. These coaches don't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself to make sure you put yourself in the best possible position to make this roster and get a job. That goes for everybody. You owe it to yourself to be prepared. You owe it to yourself to be in shape. You owe it to yourself to be committed. You owe it to yourself to be motivated, to be inspired. So, Crawley, I agree with you. This is the NFL. It's put up or shut up time. But I also have to exercise my duality as a human being, as a man. I also have to exercise my duality and say, although I know this is put up or shut up time and no one is being given any handouts and everything is earned, nothing is given, although I know that on this side of my brain, I also understand that there are guys who are busting their ass and they still won't make the roster. You feel me, Crawley? I recognize that nothing is given, everything is earned, but I also recognize that, damn, there are people who are trying to earn it. They're giving it everything. Blood, sweat, tears, time away from family, and they still won't get the job. That's a scary feeling. The NFL was a numbers game. I said to you guys earlier in this live stream, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here. And we're going to take a quick bathroom break in a little bit, but I want to get this off to you guys real quick once again. Crawley, you're absolutely right. That's the sad part of it all. You see, we get as fans, we get excited about this time. Chris Bruce, I remember, the early 2000s Hard Knocks. These Hard Knocks ain't got nothing on those because back in the day, they used to show us when guys got cut. They used to show us guys crying in these offices, crying in their hotel rooms, crying on these planes, crying on the bus, being told they can't make they're not good enough. Back in the day, those cut down days was crazy. You see these guys sweating. Remember, that was back in the day when they was doing two-a-days. You're not good enough, son. This isn't about your character. You worked hard. You knew the playbook. You were everywhere we needed you to be. You took care of your body. You're just not good enough, son. Or you were good enough, son, but it's a numbers game. There were players we liked a little bit more. There's a chance you catch on somewhere else. Terrifying. Like I said, there's only 1,696 jobs. 1,696 active roster jobs. 53-man rosters per team, 32 teams in the NFL. Do the math. 1,696 active roster jobs. Take it a step further. There are 544 practice squad jobs in this NFL. That's 17 players per team. Over 1,000 players will have their heart broken tomorrow. Over 1,000 players will be close, but no cigar. And on that note, you guys, I want to take a quick bathroom break. I promise you, I am not going anywhere. I'll be back in about a minute and some change, maybe less. I gotta unleash the dragon. So I'll be right back. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Please don't go no way. This conversation only gets better. We're back, you guys. This is Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. I appreciate you guys for being patient. I appreciate your commitment to the show. It means a lot to me. Now, getting back to our conversation, let's take it a step further, okay? Let's talk about some of the decisions the Philadelphia Eagles have to make. Let's talk about it from that perspective. Fanny says, to whom much is given, much is required. If these players are given the opportunity to make the roster, they are required to play like they want it. Preseason or not? Absolutely. Facts. D-Max says, MF that made me go to the bathroom. Hey, man, sometimes it be like that. 63 said, bro dropping a deuce. That'd be a fast one. I don't know about that. D-Max says, Tone, you need to bring Rob Ellis back on again. I sure will. I'm gonna try to get Rob on before the season starts. I'm gonna tap in with Rob. I'm glad you brought him up, D-Mac. Crawley says, Tone, I truly do feel bad for the players who put all their life into the game and barely crack a roster. That part is sad. Yeah, man, it is. It is. 843 Philly fan says, yep, Hard Knocks back in the day, players used to be paranoid sitting in their rooms, hoping that they don't get the knock on the door to bring the playbook to the coach's office. Man. Will Bennett, of course, it's a great show so far, bro. Thank you so much, Will. I appreciate it. The real RMP says, as fans, we spend our hard-earned money on tickets, flights, hotels, parking, food, merchandise, etc. We just want to win the Super Bowl, win in return. RMP, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because you know me. If you've seen my show, bro, I take our role as consumers very seriously. And I always mention how much we as supporters invest in this game as well. Time, money, resources, parking, concessions, tickets, flights, hotels, food, merchandise, like you said, all of it. You can't even, a family, let's just say this, RMP, a family of four. How much you think they run a game? Let me ask you all a question, right? A family of four. How much do you think it will cost for them to go to an Eagles game today? I'm talking tickets, parking, food, beverages. Maybe your kid wants something from the Eagles Pro Shop. How much today do you think it costs to go to a football game for a family of four? And I'm talking nosebleed seats. I didn't even get it. I didn't even get into good seats. I'm talking about nosebleeds. Big Chris says depends on the seats. I didn't even get into that part of it. But let's just say you want to sit. Let's just say you want to give your family a good experience. And you want to sit near the goal line. You want to sit near the goal line. You want to sit near the end zone. It get expensive, man. It get expensive. I'll tell you that right now. Matter of fact, let's do some math. Let me look up average costs. All right, so it says that, let me show you guys something. Let's look at this. I love this new AI thing that Google has added. It's pretty cool. All right, look at this. It says here, the average price of an NFL ticket in 2023 was $377, which is a significant increase from $235 in 2022. The price of an NFL ticket can vary depending on many factors, including the match, the stadium, the team, the home ground, and the rivalry. For example, in 2023, The Las Vegas Raiders had the highest average ticket price at over $168, while the Arizona Cardinals had the lowest at $98.54. Some of the most expensive tickets in 2023 were for the Kansas City Chiefs, $578, the Philadelphia Eagles, $559, the Dallas Cowboys, $545, and the New England Patriots, $534. In addition to the cost of the ticket, some say that the average consumer spends $85 on big game day, which includes food, beverages, equipment, and gambling. According to Finance Buzz, the best time to buy NFL tickets is on game day, when they can be 29% cheaper than average. So let's just use that. Let's just use that. Let's just say you spend $377 on a ticket, right? And I know we're kind of getting into the weeds, you guys, but let's just do this case study. $377 for a ticket times 4. Remember, the family of 4. A family of 4. That's how much it costs for a family of 4 just for the tickets. Just for the tickets. Now, let's just say you spend $100 on parking. 1608. Everybody got to eat, right? Let's just say it costs $35 per person for food and a beverage. Plus 35, plus 35, plus 35, plus 35. Now we're getting into 1700 range. This is tickets, parking, and food per person. And I think I'm being cheap when it comes to the food part. And let's just say the kids want to buy gear from the pro shop. Let's just say they all want to buy something that costs $50 because the pro shop is expensive. $50, $50, $50, $50. You bought 4 items from the pro shop at $50 a pop. This is tickets, parking, concessions, gear from the pro shop. We're talking about $2,000 for one day, for 2.5 hours, 3 hours of your lifetime. There are some people who don't even make this a week or bi-weekly. You get where I'm going with this? So to your point, right? To whom much is given, much is required. And we're talking one game, Delco. One game. One game. Now multiply. Now let's really get deep, right? Let's really get spooky. Let's get spooky real quick. Now multiply this by how many people, how many seats are in Lincoln Financial Field? How many seats? $67,594. This is a family of 4 I did, right? So this is a family of 4. So I'm gonna divide this number by 4. Okay, follow me here. I'm gonna divide this number by 4. So I can, and then I'm gonna multiply it by how many seats in the stadium. Follow me here. 1948 divided by 4 is 487. This includes tickets, a portion of the parking, a portion of the concessions, and a portion of buying something from the pro shop. Okay? Let's multiply this number. Let's say the average person spends this amount of money for one game day. Let's just say that. The average and I'm not even talking about gas, if you're traveling, if you're flying. Let's just say the average person spends this for themselves on a game day. Let's multiply this by 67,594. That's how many seats are in Lincoln Financial Field. Let's multiply that times 67,594. This is how much the Eagles made on Sunday. This is how much the Eagles made on one game day. $32,918,278. That's one Sunday. That's one Sunday. Let's multiply it by 17 games. That gets spooky, doesn't it? And guess what, Jason? Jason. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Jason. Jason, there are seats that are like 10K. See, I'm trying to be, this is low end. This is low end. We're not even talking about seats that cost 5K, 10K. We're not even talking about seats that cost thousands. We're talking about the seats that cost $300, $400, something like that. We're talking about those tickets. We didn't even get into the box seats. Come on, man. Oh, right. My bad, Bald Eagle. My bad, Bald Eagle. You're right. 8 games. Because the home games. You're right. You're right. My bad. You're right. You're right. But my point still stands, right? So the players, they sacrifice a lot too. The players sacrifice a lot too. But guess what? Us as fans, we sacrifice a lot as well. Just to enjoy the product, just to support these guys. Any given Sunday, Monday or Thursday or Friday. So if you're just joining the live stream, we've been discussing how turbulent this time of the year can be for players, how exciting it could be for us. And we also took it a step further and talked about the sacrifice on sides, the sacrifice players make, the sacrifice fans make, right? Some people feel like I'm paying $800. I could say whatever the fuck I want. Excuse my language. Some people say if I'm paying $600-$700 to go to a game, I can say whatever the hell I want. Man, oh man. This is a fascinating time, Philadelphia. This is a fascinating time. Delco Green says, Tone giving that dose of reality. You got to. You got to. You know, too often we get so wrapped up in ourselves and our own perspective, and we get so and we get so wrapped up in just, you know, our egos. Every now and again, you got to recalibrate. Same thing goes for the players. Same thing goes for us. Every now and again, you got to recalibrate. Mr. Carter says you have to pay multiple streaming subscriptions just to watch a TV show. Hey, come on, man. We didn't get into the streaming money. We didn't get into the NFL Sunday Ticket, the Red Zone. Come on, man. Come on now. But again, let's transition. I want to get to I want to get back to my topic at hand. I appreciate you guys for locking in the way you guys have. Make sure you smash that like button. We have over 150 people locked in. We only got 79 likes. We got to get that back on track. Shout out to Eagles Uncut. Shout out to Eagles Uncut with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, "Go Birds. Let's effing go." Less than 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Eagles Uncut. I'm going to be on Eagles Uncut podcast tonight. And also, shout out to Relative Time Works with the $10 super chat. He said, "I vividly remember my last high school football game. Taking those pads off for the last time after 10 years of identifying myself to some extent as a football player. Can't imagine the pro feeling." Yes, Time Works. You spitting. You talking that talk now, Time Works. I want to read this again. You talking that talk, Time Works. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He says, "I vividly remember my last high school football game. Taking those pads off for the last time after 10 years of identifying myself to some extent as a football player. I can't imagine the pro feeling." Time Works. Get scary. Thank you so much for your donation. Time works. It means a lot. Yang Gang says you're on Eagles Uncut. Well, I'm going to be on as a guest on their podcast tonight. Him and his crew. I'm going to be on their show tonight as a guest. Yang Gang is hilarious. Rex Seeing says that's why many people choose to tailgate, watch at bars or at home. Expensive to be a fan, especially if your team is trash. Yo, facts. Jason A-Team says my uncle had 4 seats in row 20 in the south end zone. Just seat license alone is $1,700 each seat. Oh my God. What? 4 seats in row 20 in the south end zone. $1,700 each seat. Oh my God. Just to watch a game. Big Pickens says, I tried to play Big Uncle and left there crying at my wallet. Plumber says, I pay $150 for Eagles tickets when they come to DC. That's still a lot of money for the average person. Jason A-Team says, then you got to pay for all the tickets. What? That's not the tickets? That's not the tickets? Oh, hell no. Sorry about that, you guys. That's my alarm. That's insane. Jason A-Team says to keep season tickets, it's basically a shakedown on ticket holders because there's a waiting list. Oh. Wow. I get it now. So you have to continue to pay for insurance so you can keep your season tickets? Wow. I had no idea that's how that went. I had no idea. Seat licenses. Oh, I get it. Okay. Jason A-Team says, so think of it as the mob taxing you for having to keep your seats. Damn. He says, it's when the team is good is when it happens. So imagine when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. How many people in here are season ticket holders? If so, please tell me about that shakedown in 2018. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, how bad was that shakedown? Somebody tell me. Jason A-Team, please tell me. When the Eagles won that Super Bowl, how bad was that shakedown? Tell me how bad it was. Bald Eagle with the $5 super chat. He says, I've spent $1,300 alone for the Brazil game. Oh my God. He said, haven't even got to the country yet. That's Airbnb, flight, food. Can't forget the food. Beverages. Jason A-Team said they skyrocketed since then. Big Pickens says, Fat Joe shakedown. Cody said you could walk into a Panthers game and get season tickets right now. I bet. My man BG31 with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He says, wish I still played. NFL, get that guap. Fly Eagles fly. That's funny, man. You're right about that. They're getting to it. Let me give my man Bald Eagle his wrench. Bald Eagle, there you go. Just give my man Bald Eagle his wrench. Let me give Eagles Uncut their wrench as well. There you go. Who else? Let me give Fresh Clean his wrench for donating earlier. Chris Bruce. Okay, Chris Bruce, you already got yours. All right, bet. All right. Thank you guys so much for donating super chats. It means a lot to me. It means a lot. We got over 100. We got 150 people in the live stream. We got 95 likes. Let's get those likes up, you guys. Nina Austin, what's going on, baby girl? She says, I spend thousands of dollars on the Eagles. I expect full effort in every game in practice. My Eagles room alone is over $5K. Damn. And one thing I say about Nina is a super fan. Nina whole crib is decked out. Like she got like this room in her crib, and I think I seen it on Twitter. She got like this room in her crib where it's Eagles to the nines. Eagles from the ceiling down to the woodworks. So, Nina, I feel you on that. I feel you. Deny Prince says the food be. No, I ain't gonna lie. Those chickens and Pete's fries, those crab fries still hit, bro. I'm sorry. Those chickens and Pete's fries still hit. They still hit, bro. RMP says, I went to the Eagles versus Lions game in Detroit a couple years ago. $75 a ticket this season going to Cincy nosebleeds. Were $178 a piece. Wow. B. Moore says, popping in during my city walk downtown LA. Okay, big dog. I love it. Be safe out there. Nino Brown says, Tone, my guy, how do you evaluate Hurts being as though he is now calling out his protections? Good question. How do I evaluate him? Well, I wouldn't consider myself to be just this football guru where I can just know exactly what I'm looking at and be able to just evaluate him fairly. But if I'm giving him any kind of evaluation, if I'm gauging anything, Nino, I think I'm gonna pay attention to how he responds to the blitz. Right? I think that's the best barometer for your average fan like myself. I think that's how you gauge success and failure. How? Because teams are going to blitz, and every now and again somebody's going to get through. How do you respond to it? Did your line calls help buy you an extra second to deliver the shot? So I think, Nino, that's how I'm going to gauge him. That's how I'm going to evaluate him. Did your line call pick up the blitz? Were you able to buy yourself some extra time with your line call? Because again, I'm not an offensive line. I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm not a master of it. But I think that's the layman's way of trying to evaluate it. Did you get sacked, or did you take advantage of the blitz? Right? Were you able to gash them for a 15, 20-yard gain? You feel what I'm saying? Were you able to take advantage of where the blitz came from and catch them slipping on the back end? So I think that's how I'm gauging it, Nino. That's how I'm gauging it. I hope that answered your question. IBH says, and all 32 teams recently received their annual profit sharing check, $400 million in each club, and now they want you to buy Amazon and Peacock. Yo, IBH, above my pay grade, but I'm with you. All right, let's move on. You guys. Nino says the blitz was his Achilles, praying that they can help him change that this year. Yeah, I think there was a disconnect between what Nick Sirianni was. Listen, the bottom line is Nick Sirianni didn't install any answers, right? The player can only, because remember, Kelsey was making the line calls, and Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson were installing the plays. There's only so much control Jalen had in terms of the blitz pickup. I think all things considered, Jalen Hurts damn near carried that team and was fighting an uphill battle every week. But Nino, I understand your concern though. He has to change that narrative about him. All right, let me get to my other part of the show. So I mentioned how there's going to be a plethora of tough decisions that got to be made. The Eagles got to cut this roster down from like 90 guys to 53. Big Pickens says, how does center see all 11 guys? QB needs that power. Exactly. I agree with you on that. I agree 100%. How does the center see everything, but the quarterback the quarterback needs to be able to do that? So I'm with you on that. But also, when you're playing with the Hall of Fame center like Jason Kelsey, it's kind of hard to veto that. But now that Kelsey's gone, I think we're going to see a whole nother level of Jalen Hurts because now he's going to have full autonomy on his offense. He's going to have full control of this offense. I think we're going to see the best version of Jalen Hurts because he wasn't making the line calls his entire time as the Eagles franchise quarterback. I think this is the season Jalen Hurts gets unlocked because he's going to be able to make the line calls. He's going to be able to make the line shifts that benefit him because he sees everything. I think this is going to be a hell of a season for Jalen Hurts. So, like I said, the Eagles have a ton of tough decisions to make. Some of those decisions are, will James Bradberry make the roster? Right? What's James Bradberry's future? He didn't play on Saturday. So that begs the question. Is he a lock-in for the roster? Or did the Philadelphia Eagles not want to hurt the asset and they're trying to trade him? One or two of those things are true. Either he's making a roster or they're trying to set up a trade package with him. It's one or the other. He's a veteran. There's nothing more you need to see from him. You know what he is. You know who he is. As Blunt says, he should not, but they may keep him for financial reasons, but he's not the best safety. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I feel you. Shout out to my man S Blunt, OG, triple OG. JK12345 says Bradberry is making it. We'll see, man. I'm really not sure, if I'm being honest. I couldn't even tell you. His situation is so confusing. But like I said, they got a ton of tough decisions to make. How many DBs will they keep, right? James Bradberry falls into that category. Should Tanner McKee be the quarterback 2 ahead of Kenny Pickett? Can we afford to let this or that player go? And if so, will we get lucky and he makes it through waivers? Or if we drop a prospect to the practice squad, can the Eagles retain his rights for when they need him most? Are the Philadelphia Eagles good enough on the edge and or linebacker? Do we trust what we already have in the building? Did we make a mistake not playing our starters? There's a ton of decisions that the Eagles have made and that they have to make. Throughout all of this that we're talking about, throughout all of this, everything that we've discussed today, throughout all of it, there is cost versus benefit. These coaches, these front office people are constantly going through risk assessments. If we make this, if we make this decision, what are the repercussions? If we cut this player, what are the odds we can get him back on the practice squad? If we demote this player to our practice squad, what are the odds we can actually keep him there and no one poaches him? There's a ton of deliberation going on right now as we speak. There are players having the tough conversations right now. A ton. I'm telling you guys, it's only a matter of time. When those first cuts start to come through, it's going to be like a leaky faucet. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Once the levee breaks, you're going to just start seeing all these names. Cut. Traded, cut, waived. It's a turbulent time. And the Philadelphia Eagles got a ton of tough decisions to make. Like I said, will James Bradberry make this roster? How many DBs will they keep? And I want to revisit my final 53-man roster with you guys because I'm not changing it. I'm sticking with it. I want to revisit it with you guys at some point throughout this show. You see, like I said, cost versus benefit, risk assessments, cutting guys, trading guys, roster building. This sport, this league, roster building is an imperfect science. It's an imperfect science. And quite frankly, a lot of us, okay, 3 cuts. Okay, there we go. There we go. Here we go. It started. It started, you guys. It started. It started. It's already begun. It's already begun. Let's see what else we got here. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Deveron RMP says McCullum, Jackson, and Ben Van Sumeren should make this roster. I like McCullum. Mr. Carter says, based on what I saw, the only players we have a chance of losing are offensive linemen. The rest are garbage. I can't talk like that. D. Aldridge says Ngata didn't play well. He did in that final game. He didn't. Philly for Life says now the axe will come down. 10 more within the hour. Tone. Yep, just watch it. Will Kelly says, "What up, Tone? It's you, humble boy, Will. What's going on, Will? Hope all is well, big dog. Good to see you. Good to see you." So far, Griffin Herbert, Austin Watkins, and offensive lineman Max Sharping had been cut. They've been cut. It's coming. It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning, y'all. Lorenzo says, when is final cut down to 53? Tomorrow, I think 4 p.m. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tomorrow, I believe, 4 p.m. D. Aldridge says, this is a tough day for coaches. Yeah, that's a tough day for a lot of people. D-Mac says, you cannot let Johnny Wilson go. He will not make waivers. They're not letting Johnny Wilson go. Johnny Wilson's fine. Johnny Wilson's not going anywhere. He's a project, but they like him. He's not going anywhere. Mr. Carter says, I'm really worried about the defense. They have a lot to prove this year. They have a ton to prove this year. My man Corey, what's up, big dog? He said, smash the like button on your way in. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you so much for showing love. It's my guy, Corey. Good dude, man. Real good dude. Let's see. Let's see where I was at here. So, let's see here. All right. So I was saying earlier how, these coaches are constantly going through, cost versus benefit analysis, risk assessments. And, a lot of us, even myself, a lot of us, we like to pretend that we know what's best and we know who to cut and who not to cut. And sometimes, the eye test just tells you, right? Sometimes it's as clear as day. But also there are times where we are just guessing, right? So sometimes we're just guessing to the best of our ability, of course. We're making predictions, we're making our own declarations, right? We're calling this person good, this person bad, and all that kind of stuff, right? Roster building is an imperfect science, right? There are players that get cut and they go somewhere else and they turn into a superstar or they turn into a high quality player, right? When covering this game or any sport for that matter, you can't really have your ego wrapped up in it. You have to acknowledge and respect your position and the player's position as well. But you have to acknowledge and respect your position and your limitations as a communicator and as a content creator. I recognize my limitations in this thing, right? I lean on people who are smarter than me, who are closer to situations, more close to situations than I am. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of listening. It's easy to talk trash about who we think deserves a job or not. What qualifies me to speak on this stuff? What qualifies me to talk about this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, what qualifies me to say, oh, this person's good, this person's bad, this person should make it, this person should not? Like I said, there are some things that are just obvious. There are some things that are obvious, like Jalen Reagor. That was obvious. But what happened? But when it's not obvious, right? When we just may not like a player, or maybe we have a preference, right? Nothing really qualifies me to do what I do here. Now, I did go to college to do this, right? I went to college. I studied broadcast journalism. I studied news writing. I studied commercial writing. I studied media criticism. I studied communication research and public speaking, argumentation, and debate. I've studied and learned how to be a pretty good communicator. I've studied and learned how to do proper research, how to take notes. I'm qualified to an extent, right? I've put in my own form of groundwork in terms of learning about this industry, learning how to produce, learning how to craft a show, learning how to be an orator, right? But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of the game, I do have my limitations. I learn as much as I can. I listen to smart people when they're talking. I never want to be the smartest one in the room. My effort qualifies me to speak about this. That's about it. My effort, my commitment to my own craft, my moral compass qualifies me to speak on this game the way I do. And when it comes to the 53-man roster predictions, and again, we're gonna revisit this later on in the show. But when it comes to that, I can end up being very right, or I can end up being very, very, very wrong. But that's okay. That's okay. My ego's not wrapped up in it. I just want the best players on the field. I just want the best players on the roster. Simple as that. Like, for example, when it comes to my feelings about Nolan Smith, and I know I've ruffled some feathers about my opinion about Nolan Smith right now. I feel like I've been very respectful, though. I feel like I've been very respectful. I've been very reasonable. I don't feel like I'm speaking out of turn. I don't feel like I've completely cast him aside or I'm doubting him. I've made my own fair share of bold predictions, right? But as far as just being respectful, and dissecting what I think I'm seeing, I feel like I feel like I've been reasonable. But you have some people who marry themselves to players, and you can't really say too much about a certain player. They get defensive. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people making the Brandon Graham comparison with Nolan Smith. There's a lot of people making that comparison, and my retort to that is: do they realize how much turbulence Brandon Graham had to go through to be the player he is today? They want to make that comparison. They want to say, you got to be patient like we were with BG. The Eagles weren't patient. They were about to cut him. He was going to get cut. He was going to get cut. You know what? You want to know why he didn't? Because somebody got hurt. Brandon Graham almost got cut. So that's why I don't like when people make that comparison, because Nolan's not in year 5 or year 4. Nolan is entering year 2. And Nolan is not exactly in the same position as BG. And again, I think it's apples to oranges. I think the situations are similar, but not the same. The Nia Prince says, you're not the only one who was blunt about Nolan Smith. He needs to switch his position to linebacker. No negotiations. Man, I don't know what's going on. Philly for Life says, Tone, that's also the beauty of being in your profession. You can be wrong as long as you stand on it. And you do. Why I've always followed you. Love what you do, homie. You're humble, intelligent, and fair. Thank you. Philly for Life, thank you. Thank you. That's all I ever want to be. I just want to be fair. I don't want to just come out here and just spew stuff and just not stand on it and run from it, right? And I have no problem saying I was wrong. No problem. Trust me, when you're married, you get used to it. When you're married, you get used to saying you're wrong. You get used to it. I have no problem. No problem saying he was wrong. I was wrong. None. Hey, to all the fellas who in here that's married, you know what I'm talking about. You get used to saying you was wrong. You get used to saying it. And thank you, Philly for Life, for your kind words, my friend. It means a lot. JK12345 says the only reason BG is still an Eagle is because of that strip sack. Oh, well, he came by that point. He kind of came on at that point, right? He kind of came on at that point. But I'm not going to pretend like it didn't extend his shelf life. I'm not going to pretend like it didn't, because it did. As Blunt says, Nolan was never a big sack guy coming out of Georgia, but he has the traits to be a good pass rusher. Nolan was not a refined pass rusher, so I'm in the camp of watching him develop. Fair enough. But here's my problem. Here's my only problem. You traded Hassan Reddick you traded Hassan Reddick in hopes that an unrefined pass rusher will start to take shape. You traded Hassan Reddick and you brought in Bryce Huff, a talented pass rusher, but still proving his weight in gold. This goes back to my point about risk assessments, cost benefit. The Eagles made and took a lot of risk trading Hassan Reddick because they believed Nolan Smith could step up and be the guy. They believe Bryce Huff can step up and be the guy. So although I hear you, S. Blunt, they took a risk. And here's my mindset. Because Wiz J says, let the youngin' grow. Will Kelly says, saying you're wrong in marriage keeps the day peaceful for sure. Oh, man. Wiz J says Nolan had nothing to do with that trade. Oh, no. No. He does. I'm not going to let y'all do that. He does. Because when you move on from a guy like Hassan Reddick, who was your most productive defensive player, and you bring in Bryce Huff, and you lean into your youth movement because you got a guy like Nolan Smith waiting to get his opportunity. Oh, he has a lot to do with that. Don't you believe for a second that when they traded Hassan Reddick, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, don't you believe for a second that they didn't say to themselves, okay, who do we have on this roster? Who do we think is going to step up? Okay, we signed Bryce Huff. We got Nolan Smith. Okay, you draft Jalen Hunt. Those names came up. It came up. We cannot sit here just because we like somebody. We can't ignore the fact. Wiz, and thank you, Wiz, for being a part of the show, man. I'm really grateful that you're adding to the show in the way that you are, because this brings something out of me, which I love. It makes for a great show, Wiz. So I don't want you to think that I'm going at you. It's more so about just the idea, right? I really do appreciate you, Wiz. Thank you. But I just disagree. I disagree that Nolan had a lot to do with that trade. Matter of fact, I could tell you Josh Sweat had something to do with that trade. Nolan Smith had something to do with that trade. Bryce Huff had something to do with that trade. You feel me? The Eagles said to themselves, and also here's another thing we don't talk about much, right? And look, I want the player to develop. Trust me, I do. I want him to develop. But my problem is he kind of looks like the same player from last year. Now, look, the regular season still has to take shape. Players develop as the season goes. I'm not out on Nolan. I don't want anybody to think that or confuse me for that. I am not out on Nolan. But the Eagles invested in Bryce Huff, $51 million, $17 million a season. The Eagles invested in Nolan Smith, first-round draft pick out of Georgia. First round. You got a hard way to go if you're going to convince me that he had nothing to do with that trade. Got a hard way to go, man. Got a hard way to go. Wiz says they should have just paid Reddick. I'm so glad you said that. Because here's something that doesn't get talked about. In RMP, you bring up a good point too. Reddick wanted $25 million. Had something to do with that trade too. Absolutely. And also, here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know this already. But I'm going to say it anyway. During this offseason, both Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick were on the trade block. And you know what the Eagles said? The Eagles said, first person to come back and play ball keeps their job. Whoever doesn't play ball, they get traded. That's exactly what happened. The Eagles were playing chicken with Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick. Follow me here. The Eagles were playing chicken with Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick. And they said to themselves, whoever comes to the negotiation table first and who works with us first will stay in this roster. Whoever plays hardball will be out. So Reddick, and I understand Reddick has been a productive player for primarily his entire career. But here's the problem. Fat Mac, and thank you so much. Like, it goes beyond just reworking the deal, because Josh Sweat was willing to rework his deal. That's why he's still here. Hassan Reddick, on the other hand, Hassan Reddick said, no, I want $20+ million. As a matter of fact, I think he wants 25. I don't know for a fact. I have nothing to substantiate this. Nothing at all. But Josh Sweat played ball. Hassan Reddick did not. That's why Hassan Reddick was traded. That's why Josh Sweat was given $10 million in guaranteed dollars. Remember, Josh Sweat had no guaranteed money left. Hassan Reddick had no guaranteed money left. Now, granted, Hassan Reddick has more of a leg to stand on. Hence why Josh Sweat was more amicable and willing to rework his deal. So there's a ton of nuance in this. There is a ton of nuance in this that I don't think we should ignore. It's not as cut and dry as we think it is. Hassan Reddick wanted what he wanted. And the Philadelphia Eagles said to themselves, you know what? And this goes back to my point earlier about cost versus benefit, risk assessments. The Philadelphia Eagles did a risk assessment, and they said, okay, Hassan Reddick has been our most productive player on defense. He has given us back-to-back seasons of double-digit sacks. Hassan Reddick is the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. Hassan Reddick did destroy. He wrecked the NFC Championship game. Hassan Reddick does have value. Yes, he does. But you know what they said to themselves? They had to weigh cost and benefit. They had to weigh all the variables, age, size, what they've invested in the position already, a la Nolan Smith. They had to say to themselves, as much as we love this player, we can't afford to pay him what he wants, or we don't want to pay him what he wants. Because they just gave Landon Dickerson all that money. They just gave Jordan Mailata all the money. They just gave Devontae Smith all that money. They just gave AJ Brown all that money. You feel what I'm saying? So it really wasn't about the money as far as they didn't have it. They had it. The Eagles had the money to pay Hassan Reddick. They didn't want to. He felt like he was worth this amount. The Eagles felt like he was worth this amount. And that's where things get wonky here. And guess what? I'm sure Josh Sweat feels like he's worth this amount, but the Eagles felt like he was worth this amount right now. And you know what Josh Sweat said? He said, you know what? Okay. I'll prove to you what I'm worth. Hassan Reddick said, you know what? I'm not moving. And if you don't want to pay me my worth, then you make whatever decision you got to make. Because remember, Hassan Reddick didn't ask for the trade. The Philadelphia Eagles gave him permission to seek one. So again, there's a lot of nuance in this conversation that I don't want us to miss. The Eagles were playing chicken with both those players. Josh Sweat gave in. Hassan Reddick did not. And it's that simple. But don't you for a second overlook the fact. Matter of fact, let me not say overlook. Let me not say overlook. Don't you for a second ignore and convince yourself that Nolan Smith, his name didn't come up in these conversations in terms of why they were comfortable moving on from Hassan Reddick. They did a risk assessment. They're gambling. The NFL, this roster building, like I said, an imperfect science. The Philadelphia Eagles, like many franchises, are gambling. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. So forgive me if my patience is a little short when it comes to Nolan Smith. Forgive me if I understand what has been invested. Forgive me if I understand what has been risk, what risk have been taken. Forgive me if I understand the assignment. The Philadelphia Eagles have taken many risks this offseason. Financially and as it pertains to relationships. They've taken a ton of risk. Because you know what? They're betting on their young guys. They're betting on Nolan Smith. They're betting on newcomer Bryce Huff. They're betting on Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They're betting on Jalix Hunt making an impact. Patrick Johnson. They took risk. Scared money don't make no money. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. Some may argue, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, why do you move on from Hassan Reddick? But then when you see that they paid Mailata, Dickerson, Smitty, A.J. Brown, they made a clear decision where they're willing to allocate resources. So they're banking on young guys. This is why Nolan Smith's success is so serious to me, because the Philadelphia Eagles don't really spend crazy money on defense. They don't. So you're banking on young guys coming in and making an impact. You're banking on Nolan Smith making a big jump in year 2. You're banking on it. We need it. I have not given up on Nolan Smith. I promise you, I have not. But I also will not quell the flame of expectation. I will not lessen the expectation because the stakes are too high. Jalen Hurts is making $50+ million a year. A.J. Brown is making $30+ million a year. Devontae Smith is making $25 million a year. Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson, $20+ million a year. Darius Slay is making like $15 or $14 million a year right now. Bryce Huff, $17 million. Lane Johnson, $20+ million. You drafted Jordan Davis in the first round. You drafted Jalen Carter in the first round. You drafted Nolan Smith in the first round. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round. You went back-to-back with DBs, drafting Cooper DeJean in the second round. You traded Hassan Reddick. They've taken risk. They've made massive investments. If the Eagles do not get a Super Bowl during the Jalen Hurts era with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, this will go down as one of the most disappointing eras in Eagles history. I will not relax. I will not give Nolan Smith a pass. But I will be respectful. And I will give proper reverence to a player. And I will acknowledge effort. I will not dismiss the blood, sweat, and tears they sacrifice. I will not dismiss Nolan Smith's commitment to the game. Nolan Smith loves this game. Love this game. You hear it in the way he talks. You hear it in the way he carries himself. You hear it in the way he takes care of his body. I will not dismiss Nolan Smith. I believe in Nolan Smith, but damn it, it's time. It's time. After what happened last year, we cannot bullshit no more. And I don't mean to come off too aggressive. I do not mean to startle anybody. I do not mean to come off standoffish. But I don't have time to just be a fan of somebody. I don't have it in me to just like somebody because I like them. I don't have that in me no more. I make content now. You guys depend on me to be honest. You guys depend on me to be honest and keep it real. I cannot sit here and say I'm not a little concerned about Nolan Smith. I cannot sit here and say that. I cannot sit here and say, although I'm optimistic, I'm not concerned about the defense. I do have my fair share of concerns, but I do believe this defense will get better as the season goes. I do believe that. But it doesn't come without its fair share of concern because the Philadelphia Eagles have taken a lot of risk. They've taken risks this offseason, you guys. That's all. But in me displaying this passion, in me displaying my own expectations, I will never, ever dismiss the sacrifices, the blood, sweat, and tears these players give. I will never dismiss that. I will never pretend I know what it's like to be in their shoes. I will never pretend to be that guy. But what I will do is I will acknowledge the circumstances. And due to the circumstances, I cannot pussyfoot. I cannot fall in love with a player because of the circumstances. If the Eagles were a rebuilding team, then hey, we can have all the patience in the world for Nolan Smith. We can have all the patience in the world for Jalen Hunt. We can have all the patience in the world. But this is not a rebuilding team. This is a Super Bowl contender. This team was 10-1 last year and fell off a cliff. They are doubting Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni right now. There are many national people, there are many pundits who are looking at the Philadelphia Eagles and waiting for them to fall, waiting for them to fail. A lot of people believe the Eagles are an accident waiting to happen. The stakes are high. The stakes are high. Just how those players dedicate a ton of time, effort, love for the game, and blood, sweat, and tears to their craft, I dedicate time to mine. I dedicate time to my craft. And I'm going to get to your comments, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm just ranting right now. I dedicate time to this craft. I dedicate time to my research. I dedicate time to listening to smart people when they're talking about the game. My family, friends, associates dedicate a lot of their resources to the Philadelphia Eagles. People take off from work. People spend thousands of dollars to see this team do their thing. Thousands of dollars. We were just talking earlier about a family of 4. Can't even go to a football game. A family of 4 costs you about $2,000 to $3,000 to go to a game just to be comfortable. I speak for both sides of the game. I speak for the fan, but I also speak for the player. I speak for the fan, but I speak for the player. I just can't be, I can't be passive about this. I just cannot be passive about this. Let me get to our comments, man. I've been ranting for a while. Thank you guys for locking in on the show. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you're new to the show, man, oh man, what a show for you to find me on. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. I hope I didn't scare you if you're new to the show. I hope I didn't scare you. But I'm just really passionate about this game. Not just the Eagles, this game. Michael DeJean says, time. What's your timeline for Nolan and Dean to succeed? Man, oh man, Michael. That's a tough question. What's my timeline? Year 3. Year 3. Because look, the rookie year, I don't kill you for your rookie year. Rookie years, they're up, they're down. I don't give players too much love or too much hate for their rookie year because you're a rookie, you're learning. You're learning. So, for me it's year 3. If the Eagles draft you, you have until year 3 to show me something. Year 3. I'm giving Nolan Smith. He's entering year 2. Year 1, he barely was on the grass. So I don't kill Nolan for his rookie year. I really don't. I don't kill Nolan at all for his rookie year. Not one bit. But to answer your question, Michael DeJean, year 3. Nakobe Dean is in what? Year 3. Nakobe Dean is in year 3. Nolan Smith entering year 2. Jordan Davis, year 3. Jalen Carter, year 2. Kelee Ringo, year 2. Sidney Brown, year 2. Tyler Steen, year 2. Cam Jurgens, year 3. So that's my timeline. You got until year 3 to show me something. But that clock, to an extent, may get sped up, especially if you're on a Super Bowl contending team like the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope I answered your question, Michael. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Philly 007 says it all comes down to that linebacker core. They have to set the tone every drive. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Spin Bad says, best Eagles breakdown by far. Good stuff, Tone. Love the show. Spin Bad, thank you so much for your support, man. All I want to do is give you guys my commitment and my passion. That's all I know. B Moore says, bring the fire, Tone. Bring the heat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Philly for Life says, beyond high stakes. Exactly, man. This is huge. Huge. Wiz J, he said I'm all for him earning snaps like Nakobe. Facts. Earn it. JK12345 says the whole defense is a question mark. There's a lot of first round picks on defense with a lot of talent. They all got to step up. Facts, man. Now, I do think the defense will get better as the season goes. I do believe that. But at the same time, it doesn't come without its question marks and concerns. The real RMP says, yeah, Nolan got to show up. He looking bad with technique and physicality. You said it. Donna Roan says, yes, Nolan has to show us this year. Wiz J says, we are concerned, but last year was a wash. Everybody on the line regressed last season. I agree. Last year, especially in that final 5 to 6 game stretch, was not good for anybody. Not good for anybody. So everybody has a lot to prove. Mr. Carter says, speak on it, Tone. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Benjamin Morris says the Eagles are the definition of all in. Absolutely. When the last time we seen the Eagles pay a running back? When they signed Saquon Barkley, that should have told you everything you needed to know. They was all in. Jay says, sounds like the Eagles believe that Reddick didn't make enough of a difference to warrant paying more than an analytically designated cost. To your point, Jay, they did a ton of risk assessment, a ton of cost-benefit analysis. And they decided that they could live without him. We'll find out if that's true. Cyan Tribble. She says, bro, he definitely has to show off improvement. But he's going into the second year with the 5th-year option. Next year is when I'm really going to be on Nolan. That goes back to my point, Cyan, of I give players until year 3. Because I don't kill guys for the rookie year, especially when you don't get that much time on the field. So I didn't kill Nakobe for his rookie year. I didn't kill Nolan for his rookie year. I'm not going to kill Jordan Davis for his rookie year either, or Kelee Ringo. But year 2, I need to start seeing stuff. And then going into year 3, like Jordan Davis, now it's time to really put it all together. So, I'm not giving up on Nolan, but I'm watching him. I'm watching him. That's all. Philly for Life says, you're only speaking facts, brother. Screw the feelings. Preach. Nina Austin says, preach facts, Tone. Coach Corey says, let's go, Tone. Now you talking. Mr. Carter says, damn, Tone, acting like he campaigned for president. Trevor Twine says, Tone, how you feel about Hunt? I like Hunt. Hunt has shown me some unique abilities. His ability to drop back in coverage, how smooth he is, sideline to sideline, his athleticism. You can see it. But again, rookie, Still got to put it all together. You know, I'm going to be very measured in how I criticize Jalen Hunt. Again, rookie year. Everybody gets a mulligan in rookie year with me. Will Kelly says Nakobe fits that category as well. Yeah, Nakobe, year 3. This your time, brother. M. Reyes says, I just opened this and Tone was yelling at me. I'm sorry, Reyes. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. you caught me at a passionate time. Afrado says we better get a Super Bowl this year or in the next 3 years. Preferably this year, though. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yang Gang says there's definitely talent on the defensive side of the ball. It's young talent, so hopefully they come together in time for the postseason. Absolutely. Philly for Life says the passion is off the cart. Preach, brother. Oh, Sion. I'm sorry, Sion. Is Sion or Sion? I hope I'm saying that right. Sion? I'm so sorry, Miss Tribble. I'm sorry. Because I said Sion at first, right? Is it Sion? Because I want to get it right. It's Sion or Sion? I just want to make sure I get it right. That's all. I have respect for my supporters. All right, let's see here. My man, Illuminati 85 says, Tone, Smith is playing out of position and is built for speed and agility off the edge. He needs to focus on his closing and play recognition. Okay, when you guys say he's playing out of position, are you guys saying he's not an edge rusher? Are you guys saying he should be in coverage? Because every time I've seen him play, they've rushed him off the edge. Are you guys saying that he shouldn't be rushing the passer? And again, Illuminati, I'm just trying to understand. Because I think I saw you say this earlier in the show. I just didn't catch it. But are you saying that he shouldn't be rushing the passer? KGK says, what you think about Burke? He was playing his behind off last game. He belongs. Burke. Why is that escaping me? Why is that name escaping me? Who is that? Why is that name escaping me? Who is that? Oh, Oren Burks. Yes. Oren Burks. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you, KGK. I almost forgot about him. Jimmy said Traylon. But yeah, Oren Burks. Okay. So you know who really made it okay, gotcha, Sion, gotcha. You know who, yeah, Oren Burks had a decent game. Yo, Julian Okoro came off the line fast. Julian Okoro came off the line. Yo, did y'all see Julian Okoro blow up the quarterback? He knocked him out of the game. I haven't seen Nolan Smith come off the line that fast before. Julian Okoro shot off like a fucking rocket. Philly for Life says Julian was balling. I know, that was crazy. I did not know he had that kind of explosiveness. I did not see that coming. Jimmy says Van Sumeren was the play. Van Sumeren had a hell of a game. Had a hell of a game, y'all. And I know I don't have him on my my 53-man roster prediction, you know, but I'm gonna stick with it. MC says you want a Nolan bumper. I don't know. I'm not, man. No, you know, I you know what, to your point, MC, to your point, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop making every comparison back to Nolan Smith. You're right. I do gotta stop doing that. If I'm saying that I still have faith in him, I can't keep doing that, right? Right, MC? That's basically what you're saying. I can't, if I'm saying that I'm not trying to be hard on him, but I keep comparing players to him, I can't keep doing that. So I want to be fair. You're right, MC. You're right. You're right. I got to be fair. I got to be fair, man. Oh, man. Oh, you know, how about this? Because you guys are asking me how I feel about certain players, right? I should bring up my 53-man roster prediction again. And again, I like a lot of the players you guys are bringing up, right? I like Tristan McCullum. I like Ben Van Sumeren. I liked what I saw from Julian Okora and Oren Burks in that game. I really, really do. But you know, when you see my 53-man roster prediction, you're going to notice the inconsistencies here. Wiz J says Teron Jackson just released. Teron Jackson. And guess what? Teron Jackson was in Milton Williams' draft class. He was in the same draft class as Milton Williams, Marlon Tuipulotu. He was in that draft class. Kenny Gainwell. All right, let's see here. I want to show you guys my final 53-man roster prediction again. And Lamb got his money? Let's see. Let's see. Lamb got his money, huh? Let's see. Woo! They did it. They paid him, all right. They paid him. Woo! Look at this. They did it. They did it. Let's bring this up on screen. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All right. CeeDee Lamb has agreed on a massive 4-year extension worth $136 million. Wow. Lamb gets $100 million guaranteed and a wide receiver record $38 million signing bonus in a deal done by Tory Dandy of CAA. He's the second highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Whoa. Woo-wee. Let's do some math. 136 divided by 4. $34 million a year. $100 million guaranteed. Man, oh man. So look at this. Let's do some math, right? It's a 4-year extension. So if $100 million is guaranteed, that basically means he's making $25 million a year guaranteed, no matter what happens. Over the life of this contract, over the shelf life of this contract, CeeDee Lamb is making $25 million a year guaranteed. Man. Must be the money. Man. So let me tell you this now. How are you going to pay Dak? How are you going to pay Micah? The Cowboys aren't good with money. No, I think CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb is a great player. CeeDee Lamb is a great player. You're not going to see me on here disrespecting him. Illuminati says that just means Dallas doesn't have a roadmap. I agree. Philly for Life says, great job, Dallas. They can't sign anyone now. They're in cap hell guaranteed. Don't have to worry about them over the next 4 years. Man, oh man. It's going to be crazy to see how this thing goes. Nino Brown says, what does that mean for Dak? Wiz J says, Jerry's mouth cost him that contract. $63 Mortis says, how much cap space you want? All of it. Man. Eagles all day says he's not better than Brown. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Infamous says all for players getting paid, but they ruined the integrity of the game. Infamous says a guy like CeeDee will never win a Super Bowl. You know, so here's the thing, right? Infamous. I understand where you're coming from, but I think it takes a team to screw up a situation like this, right? It takes let me not say team. It takes a group effort to screw up a situation like this. It takes a group effort. The problem with the Cowboys is they wait too long to pay people, and then they're always forced to pay the premium. This is why the Eagles, in my opinion, are a better franchise than the Cowboys, because the Eagles do business properly. They always put themselves in a favorable financial position. They never wait until the price tag gets its highest. They don't move with ego when it comes to this stuff. If they believe a player is integral to their success, they're going to pay him. Simple as that. Wiz says they should have paid him before they should have paid him before Justin Jefferson. They should have paid him before Justin Jefferson. They should have paid him before Amon-Ra St. Brown, because you were going to pay him anyway. So why would you wait? Why would you wait after Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid? Why would you wait until after A.J. Brown got paid? Why would you wait until after Justin Jefferson got paid? Why would you wait? That's so freaking stupid. And then they want to talk trash to us like we breathe the same air when we don't. They are idiots. Congratulations to CeeDee Lamb, by the way. Congratulations to CeeDee Lamb. Congratulations. You just whacked the Dallas Cowboys. Congratulations. Congratulations to CeeDee Lamb. As they should. He deserved every penny of that. He deserved every penny. He deserved every penny. Congratulations, CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys got exactly what they deserved. All right. Now, let me get back to my final 53-man roster. I've been talking to you guys about this for the past handful of days here. And all right, let's bring it up. All right. Yeah, so I've been talking to you guys for the past few days about my final 53. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to disagree with it. Are probably going to disagree with it because I may be missing, certain guys. And that's perfectly fine. I just think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to, finesse this somehow, some way. But this is what I think is going to happen, right? And if you guys are just joining the live stream, thank you so much. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new, especially if you like what you hear, like what you see. Thank you so much. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Real quick, who else has gotten cut? Let me go to my man John Mullen page. All right. Let's keep this thing going. All right. My man Infamous says, yo, Tone, by the way, I found this out yesterday. Our DB's coach last year went from high school straight to the NFL with 0 college experience. So people treating Forbes this year as a rookie year. Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with that? A high school guy coming right to the NFL? You comfortable with that? When you're trying to develop your young corners. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. You sound optimistic, but I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. If I'm just being honest, I don't think I would be comfortable with that. Oh, last year. Wait, so I don't understand. Why are they treating this year as Emmanuel Forbes' rookie year? Help me understand that logic, because he's not a rookie. So help me understand that logic. For this year's Forbes rookie year, they're treating it like that. Help me understand what that means, because he's not a rookie. Anyway, my 53-man roster. As you guys can see, I drafted this on the 23rd, and I'm sticking by this. So oh, I think I get what he's trying to say now. Okay, anyway. Obviously the quarterbacks are what they are. Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett. I think the Philadelphia Eagles keep 4 running backs this year. Some people think they only keep 3, but I think they keep 4. I could be wrong though. Illuminati says, was Covey a draft pick or a rookie free agent signing? He was undrafted. Brenton Covey went undrafted, Illuminati. C to the R says what we need 4 running backs for. I'm glad you asked that, C. So hear me out on this. And remember, Will Shipley was drafted in the 3rd round, I think. 3rd or 4th round. So he's making it to the roster. But hear me out. I'm going to explain to you guys why I have 4 running backs making this roster. And I could be wrong. Right? It's all good. But I'm going to explain why. Over the past 4 seasons, the Philadelphia Eagles have kept 4 running backs on this roster. 4. Okay? Regardless of what goes down, they've kept 4 running backs on this roster. So, let me just show you what I mean. I can show you better than I can tell you. In 2020, The Philadelphia Eagles elevated 4 running backs to the roster. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Corey Clement, and Jason Huntley. In 2021, 4 running backs again. Sanders, Gainwell, Scott, Howard. In 2022, 4 running backs again. Sanders, Gainwell, Scott, Trey Sermon. In 2023, 4 running backs again. Swift, Gainwell, Scott, Penny. So, whether we believe they need 4 running backs or not, the trends, their habits, their actions have dictated that they're going to elevate 4 running backs to this roster. Could that change? You have a new coordinator, right? The Eagles have been doing things a little different this year. You know, they signed Saquon Barkley. We didn't expect that to happen, right? So it could change. But here's my logic, C to the R. Here's my logic as to why I think they bring up 4 running backs. Because of the trends, because of what they've done before. That's all. You know, you weren't the only person that asked me that question. You weren't the only person that asked me that question. A lot of people asked me that question. A lot of people asked. Because I had posted my final 53 on Twitter. And a lot of people had questions. I got the most questions about my position on running backs. And I just broke it down for people. Here's why. That's all. That's all. Just the trends. That's all. Thank you again, C to the R, for watching the show. It means a lot, bro. Thank you. Now let me bring this back up on the screen. All right. So my final 53. Hurts, McKee, Pickett at quarterback, running back, Barkley, Gainwell, Shipley, Terry and Davis Price. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Britton Covey, Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith. Now, this is where things get this is where the first hiccup comes in for a lot of people, right? Some people say, well, Tone, Anaya Smith is giving you nothing. There's a strong chance that he can make it through waivers. They should put him on a practice squad. And it's a possibility that they will. Don't get me wrong. It's a possibility. But I'm also trying to take into consideration that the Philadelphia Eagles place a tremendous value on their draft picks. And I think it's more plausible to assume that the Eagles cut Paris Campbell and John Ross rather than them cut Anaya Smith. To take it a step further, I wouldn't put it past them to believe that Paris Campbell and or John Ross would make it through waivers before Anaya Smith does. Because remember, Anaya Smith has some pretty fascinating college tape, and he's a rookie. An organization will take a chance on him. If the Eagles let Anaya Smith make it to the waiver wire, there will be a team that takes a chance on him. So I think it's more likely that the Philadelphia Eagles retain Anaya Smith to the active roster, and then they cut Paris Campbell and cut John Ross, and then they double back and bring back either Paris Campbell or John Ross. So Wiz has some information here. He says the Eagles are expected to release wide receiver John Ross by tomorrow, per source. The hope is that he clears waivers so he signs with the practice squad. See what I mean? See? This is already the first domino to fall in the direction that I think it will. I think the Eagles have a stronger belief that Paris Campbell and John Ross will clear waivers before Anaya Smith does. Moving on. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, E.J. Jenkins. Albert O hasn't shown enough. CJ Uzomah was already cut. Let's go to the offensive line. Offensive line, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson. Now let's get to the backups. Tyler Steen, Trevor Keegan, Fred Johnson, Darian Kennard, Dylan McMahon. I think the Eagles go into the season with 10 offensive linemen. Jay says, do you think that Shipley played well? Is he a good insurance policy for Gainwell if Gainwell plays poorly or gets injured? I like Will Shipley. I think Will Shipley showed flashes. I think Will Shipley can definitely get work in the passing game. He's a willing, that's the key word. He's a willing pass blocker. And I like his style of running. He's patient. I like Will Shipley. I do. And he's going to make this roster. But yeah, they've already cut Max Sherping. Fanny says it's Will Shipley a 3-down back. No, of course not. I mean, you don't need him to be. You got Saquon Barkley. You don't need Will Shipley. Will Shipley is not a 3-down back right now. I don't think he ever will be. And let's be honest, you guys. Let's be honest. There aren't many 3-down backs in this league. We don't talk about that much. There are not too many 3-down running backs in this NFL. Like true 3-down running backs. Let me see if I can name them. Christian McCaffrey, he's a 3-down back. Saquon Barkley is a 3-down back. Aaron Jones is a 3-down back. Josh Jacobs is a 3-down back. Derrick Henry is a 3-down back. So that's 5 right there. Bijan Robinson is a 3-down back. Who else? There's not many of them. I'm not sure Brian Robinson is a 3-down back. I'm not sure. If Brian Robinson was a 3-down back, you don't bring in Austin Eckler. Come on, stop it. Come on, man. See, this is a classic moment where you got to pay attention to what people do, not what they say. If they thought Brian Robinson was a 3-down back, you don't bring in Austin Eckler. They don't believe Brian Robinson is 3-down back. That's why you sign Austin Eckler. Come on, man. Nick Chubb, yes. Nick Chubb when healthy, of course. Who else? I said Nick Chubb. Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is weird because remember he played with Mark Ingram a lot, and then he became the main guy. I'll give it to Alvin Kamara. Okay, I'll give it to him. But who else? There's not many 3-down backs in this league, and I'm iffy about Kamara. But nonetheless. Jameer Adams was good, bro. So, yeah, that's my offensive line. I think Fred Johnson, Darian Kennard, and Dylan McMahon make the cut. So he's not a 3-down back then. Come on, man. So he's not a 3-down back. D-Mac says Jahmyr Gibbs. He's splitting carries. He's splitting carries with David Montgomery. I said Aaron Jones. I said Aaron Jones. I said Aaron Jones. Jahmyr Gibbs is splitting carries with David Montgomery. So I don't know if he's a 3-down back. I don't know. I've never seen it. D-Mac says no Brett Toth. Nah, not a fan of Brett Toth. Not a fan of Brett Toth. Not a fan of Toth. Infamous says he was a 3-down back last year. Yes. And guess what? Swift, DeAndre Swift is not a 3-down back. Infamous really believes Brian Robinson is a 3-down back, right? Okay. If Brian Robinson is a 3-down back, why or how? I forgot about this. You're right. I forgot Bijan split carries last year. I totally forgot about that. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot. That's all. I forgot about that. But Brian Robinson, though, back to Brian Robinson. Nah, Najee Harris, not a 3-down back. Nah. No, he's not. Mixon's, nah. Green Bay, yeah. Josh Jacobs, I said him. But anyway, yeah. Back to the Brian Robinson angle. Brian Robinson, if he was a 3-down back, why did the Commanders lead the league in pass attempts? Why were you guys so afraid to run the ball? And then why would you bring in Austin Eckler? Because they don't think Brian Robinson can do it alone. He's not a 3-down back. D-Mac Pacheco, nah. Pacheco, nah. Infamous says because EB is an idiot. Hey, I can't. Y'all funny now. He said Wendell Smallwood. He said Wendell Smallwood. Oh, man. Dominic Fowler says Bijan split carries because of the coaching. It's a possibility. All right, let's continue though with my list. Anyway. At D tackle, I said King Henry. I can't believe JK said Wendell Smallwood. That's hilarious. That is funny. That is really, really funny. All right, D tackle. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Moro Jomo, Thomas Booker, Marlon Tupelo 2. Now, here's the thing. I think there's a strong chance they keep 6 DTs, but Thomas Booker did not help his case. On Saturday at all. Yo, y'all comments got me rolling, man. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to stay focused. Anyway, Thomas Booker hurt his case on Saturday. Him and Marlon Tupelo hurt their case. A lot of them DTs did. They got ran on. Against Minnesota. So at this point, man, although I'm sticking with my list, I don't know. Illuminati says David Montgomery could be. It's possible. Philly for Life says, I'm rolling Tone. Wendell, though. Wendell Smallwood, man. I was never a Wendell Smallwood fan. Never. I was never a Wendell Smallwood fan. Edge rusher / outside linebacker, off-ball linebacker. I have Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Patrick Johnson. I think Patrick Johnson can make this roster. I do. I think Patrick Johnson showed flashes. I think, even though I noticed Julian Okora and Oren Burks yesterday, they kind of came on real late. They came on very, very late. And I'm kind of unsure. I mean, I know Oren Burks was hurt, but I don't know why Oren Burks. I mean, I don't know why Joe Nakora, we didn't see him earlier on. I don't get that. I really don't get that. But I think Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, and Patrick Johnson are your off-ball linebackers, your edge rushers. I really do. Antonio Holmes says David Montgomery wasn't a 3-down back when he was in Chicago. That's true. That's very true. In order to be a 3-down back, you got to be able to run, catch the ball, and block. But more importantly, you got to be able to block. I think that's the big difference between 3-down blacks. I said 3-down blacks. Jesus. 3-down backs. Jeez Louise. That sounded crazy. That sounded crazy. Thank God I'm a black man. Thank God I'm a black man. 3-down backs, excuse me. Oh my God, that was crazy. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Now I know how that guy now I know how that who was the baseball announcer that got fired for saying the N-word? Who was that? Yo, who was the announcer that got fired for saying the N-word by accident? Who was that? Remember they were talking about the Negro League, right? And that baseball announcer got fired for accidentally saying the N-word because he was trying to say the Negro League. Remember that? Yo, oh my God. Yo, thank God I got the complexion for the protection, right? Yo, oh my God. Thank God I got the complexion for the protection. Thank God. But I need y'all to tell me who that was. Who was the announcer that got fired? I'm a black man. You can't cancel me. I'm a black man. All I'm trying to say is I think I understand. I think I understand how he made that mistake now. I think I understand how he made that mistake. You see how easy it was for me to say that? I'm trying to say 3-down backs. I said 3-down blacks. That sounds insane. JK said 3-down whites. Yo, y'all funny, man. It was an accident. It was a Freudian slip. It was a Freudian slip, man. It was a Freudian slip. Oh, man, that was funny. Oh, my God, that's funny. Y'all got me crying over here, man. Oh, my God. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. I'm having too much fun with y'all. I'm having way too much fun. Way too much fun. All right, let me relax, man. Let me get through this. So, my middle linebackers are Devin White, Zach Ball, Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I think that's how that irons out. Now, when it comes to my Infamous says, Tone, I'm on episode 800 of One Piece. It's a serious grind. Bruh, One Piece got so many episodes, dog. It's intimidating. It's intimidating, dog. It's intimidating. Yang Gang says 3-down blacks would be a great name for a dive bar in the hood. That's funny. C. Johnson says, was that announcer Glenn Cooper? I think. All I'm trying to say is I think I understand how he made that mistake now. Freudian slips are a mother. Anyway, yeah. So Infamous says they're reanimating it and making it 300 episodes. Oh, so they're pulling the so they're pulling the Full Metal Alchemist thing, but the opposite, right? Full Metal Alchemist, they made more episodes. They reanimated and made more episodes. So they're doing the opposite. Okay. I don't know how you turn over 1,000 episodes into 300. I hope they get it done. Cody, 3 Down Blacks is Tone's garage band. That is funny. Michael DeJean says, you like Davis over Milton? That's a loaded question, Michael. Michael, I don't like that question. You asked me that a few times. And I was trying to ignore it. Michael, I'm gonna be honest, Michael. I was trying to ignore this question because I feel like it's a loaded question. It's a loaded question. So I'm gonna be honest with you, Michael. I don't appreciate you asking me this question. I feel like you asking me this question is disrespectful. and it hurts my feelings. So I'm going to be politically correct. And I'm going to say, I like both players. I like both of these players. Sorry, Michael. I'm not jumping off the deep end. I'm ignoring this question. He says Tone was trying to ignore this. He says not easy to answer because people could take it the wrong way for sure. Absolutely. I'm ignoring that question. I'm just going to say I like both of them, Michael. You ain't Infamous says, are y'all getting rid of Ricks? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he makes the roster. I really, really don't. So that may be a chance, Infamous. JK says Davis is probably worse, but he'll get more of a shot because of his draft status. Yeah, I don't know. You guys. I'm sorry. I don't know. Cody said Milty for Prez. So yeah, here's another thing, right? A lot of people don't like that I only have 9 DBs making the roster. A lot of people don't like that. When I showed them this, they really don't like that. And I could be very wrong. They may keep 10 DBs. But I got Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers, Keely Ringo, Cooper DeJean, CJ GJ, Reed Blankenship, and Avonte Maddox. Now, at face value, you say, hold on, Tone, only 2 safeties? And I say, well, hear me out. Avonte Maddox, I mean, obviously CJ GJ and Reed Blankenship play safety, but Avonte Maddox, he's playing safety for the Eagles right now. He's playing safety. And he could also play nickel if you need him to. And then Cooper DeJean can play nickel, can play outside, but also can play safety if you need him to. And then Quinyon Mitchell can play the nickel as well. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles have a ton of versatility. Davon, what's going on, Davon Tyree? Welcome to the show, bro. Jay says, are they going to pay Milton? I don't know. I doubt it. I really doubt that, actually. Down at Rome says you're missing McCullum. I know. Michael DeJean says you plead the 5th. Sure do. I sure do plead the 5th. Deny Prince says, when Sidney Brown gonna be back? He'll be back week 6. Michael DeJean says, great answer. But Sidney Brown will be back week 6. Because he's on the PUP list, he automatically doesn't count towards your roster, and he's protected. So, but here's the catch. He has to sit for the first 4 weeks. He has to sit for the first 4 weeks, and then on top of that, the Eagles have a fifth week bye or a week 5 bye week. So we're not going to see Sidney Brown probably until week 6. And it also depends on how the other guys are playing. We may not see Sidney Brown at all. It all depends. But I think he will be on the active roster nonetheless. Michael DeJean says, when Sidney comes back, who you dropping? You know, don't be surprised if they drop a running back or they drop a one of these DTs. Don't be surprised. Or one of these offensive linemen. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at all. Don't be surprised, not one bit. All right. JK says drop Pickett. All right. So let me go through my roster prediction one more time, and then I'm gonna get out of here. We've been live for over 2.5 hours, you guys. I did not expect this show to be this long. So at quarterback, and again, you guys, this is my final prediction. I'm not changing it. I got the date right there. I've been very steadfast, sticking to my guns here because I don't want to be wishy-washy. Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett at quarterback, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley, and Tyrion Davis-Price at running back. At wide receiver, I have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Britton Covey, Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith. At tight end, I have Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, E.J. Jenkins. On the offensive line, I have Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Trevor Keegan, Fred Johnson, Darian Kennard, Dylan McMahon. At the defensive tackle spot, I have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Moro Ujomo, Thomas Booker, and Marlon Tuipulotu. On the edge or off-ball linebacker, I have Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Patrick Johnson. At middle linebacker, I have Devin White, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. At defensive back, and also, by the way, Zach Bond could possibly fall into that off-ball linebacker category. But nonetheless, at D-back, I have Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers, Kelly Ringo, Cooper DeJean, CJ GJ, Reed Blankenship, Avonte Maddox. And special teams, obviously Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, and Rick Lovato. So there you have it, you guys. That's my 53-man roster prediction. If you want to revisit my final 53, check out my Twitter page. Check me out on Twitter. If you want to revisit my final 53-man roster, go to my Twitter page and it's all posted right there for you, okay? And then please, I want you guys to comment also. Antonio Holmes says, drop Davis Price at McCollum. That's very possible, Antonio. That's very, very possible. I can't front. That's a very plausible situation. We'll see what happens. If you guys want to offer alternatives, if you guys have any questions or concerns about my final 53-man roster, go to my Twitter, hit me up, comment under the tweet. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Cody said, Tone, do you still have hoodies available? The link I hit only showed tees. So I didn't add the hoodies yet. I plan on adding hoodies in September. I didn't add hoodies up yet. Okay? My man Mike Call, he said, sorry, I'm late. Yeah, man, I'm about to get out of here. Make sure you double back, though. This was a really good episode. This was a really, really good episode, Mike. I really got in my bag on this one. So you may want to double back and rewatch this episode. This was a really good one. I really let it all hang out on this one. As Blunt says, you back on tomorrow at the cuts? Yes, definitely. You guys are going to have a lot. Listen, I'm going to be really active tomorrow. Really active. So, I'm definitely going to be back tomorrow. Definitely, you guys. Don't you worry. But yeah, make sure you guys check me out on Twitter if you guys want to see my final 53 again. Okay. I didn't add the hoodies yet. He said, "What hoodies? You killing me?" I didn't add hoodies yet. I didn't add the hoodies yet, y'all. I didn't add the hoodies yet. I'm going to add them though. I'm going to add them, but I didn't add them yet. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for showing love the way you guys have. You guys have already been showing love at the merch when it comes to the merch. Thank you guys so much. Go check it out. The links are always in the live stream for the Chalk It Up merch shop. Make sure you guys go bless yourself for the NFL season. I'm actually going to repost that in the live stream. Make sure you guys go bless yourself. Go bless yourself, okay? I really do appreciate the constant love and support you guys provide, man. Goes a long way. I do not take it for granted, okay? The merchandise comes in 2 colorways. It comes in black and it also comes in eucalyptus. Some people have been calling it tan. But regardless, though, it comes in 2 different colorways. I've been rocking the gear every damn day for the most part, you know? And I really do appreciate the love and support. So make sure you guys click the links if you want to support the merch shop. And we're going to be doing giveaways next month. I did about 3 giveaways so far this month. And I think I did some last month as well. So we're going to get back to doing our giveaways come September. We're going to start our giveaways back up next week. So I really appreciate you guys so much for showing the amount of love you guys have. It means a lot to me. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. Make sure you guys stay active. Keep commenting. Stay engaged in the content. Goes a long way. Make sure you guys double back on all the other content as well. There's always much more to talk about. Make sure you guys also stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on an electric dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the gang.